Hello and welcome to Retrotainment Recast here on the Dynamo Podcast Network. My name is Carl, here with the two regulars here on Retrotainment Recast. The three of us, we are battling out again here today. Today we have Ted and Greg.
How you doing?
And the reigning champ, Ted. He's getting
Reigning
that in
champ.
there early.
Yeah,
He's getting that in
reigning
there
champ.
early.
You want to take
Ted
that
is
down
on
right now?
he's on a huge run, 3 wins in a row.
Longest run of all time.
The longest run. And Greg is looking to beat him here. And today we have a tough one.
Looking to
We
get
have
that
Armageddon.
first W on the board.
Yeah, true. First W for Greg.
And we're going for Armageddon here in a bit of a bigger one. We usually do 7. Today we have 9 recasts. So it'll be a bit of a longer show and bit of a fun one. It was a difficult one to try and get through.
Yes.
Some really hard recasting choice.
Big cast
It really
in this
was
as well.
I think this is one of those movies, when you look at a movie and you see it and you're like, that was just perfectly cast.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You can see certain movies back in the day, you look at it and be like, oh, you could have cast that so much better. This is one of them movies that Michael Bay got bang on.
Yeah. I think the only thing that made this slightly easier than some other ones in certain ways was the fact that we weren't doing teenagers again. So I didn't have to use the same.
We've imposed a ban on that.
Not
for a while.
A slight, temporary ban. Yeah.
Just so we can stop watching teenage movies.
Well, I don't mind watching the teenager. It's just there's only so many teenagers I can cast, and casting
We've exhausted our options.
We can't keep casting the same guys for every film. Yeah.
Exactly.
It's boring.
That's very true. It's very true. Now, as there is only 9 people recasting, there are some major people in the movie that we have decided not to recast. So we're deciding not to go with Owen Wilson's character, Larry David's character, and then we're deciding not to go with
Nikolai something.
What's the guy's name? Kind of the bigger guy in the group.
Max.
Max, yes, we decided not to recast Max as well. But we have 9 people we're going to recast there.
The thing was that it was going to be we were going to be pushing that's 12. So then we would have need to recast the other astronaut that was up on the surviving plane, and then you would have been doing 13, and it's too many. So we couldn't do 7 because you had to cut out too many people. So we went with 9.
Exactly. And as the reigning champ here, Ted, we'll let you start off here, and I'm going to go with Bear to start off.
Just gonna.
Send the text message in. That's sending that into the group.
Sent that in there now, so you can. Yeah, just in case of a draw. So, who are we going with?
So, reigning champ, give me Bear, originally played by Michael Clark Duncan.
What a man.
Okay, so this one was kind of tough. I had 2 alternates. The first one, and I would imagine you both had this thought in your head for my first second. Like, I didn't use this person, but Terry Crews. I think everyone's thinking Terry Crews fits into that role quite easily, doesn't he? The kind of badass, big muscly dude. At one point I was thinking, and I'm not even going to try and pronounce his name, so I'm just going to use his character's name, the Mountain from Game of Thrones. I was like, that guy might actually be too big.
He 100% not getting into space.
That guy is too big. I was actually thinking of him because I was like, it needs to be a big, intimidating guy. And I was like, but I think that guy might actually be physically too big. I think he would overshadow everyone else in the film way too much, which worked for the Mountain, but I don't think would have worked here.
Not so much here.
So I went with somebody who we haven't used before.
Okay.
It's somebody that came to me while I was rewatching something else that we recorded. And I went with Jamal Duff, who was Michelle in Dodgeball.
Okay.
Big guy.
He's a big guy. I'd forgotten how big Michelle was.
But then again, Ben Stiller's not even a small guy.
Exactly. That's the thing. I'd forgotten how big he was. Now, I don't think he's as broad as the original Bear, but I think he can still look like that big, intimidating, but also kind of funny guy as well.
Generally, there's probably no need to even have someone that big in it. You know what I mean?
No, but I think it fits the role of,
It does, yeah.
Oh yeah, no, I know, but
they use him as a powerhouse. He does carry things, especially
Yeah.
later on, and he has a load of pipes that he's just carrying by himself.
Yeah.
There is that too, yeah.
Okay, Jamal Duff. What about yourself, Greg?
I had two. The one I didn't go for was Winston Duke.
Yeah.
It was on the list and
Deserves to be.
whatnot.
Yeah, I think he was on my list as well.
The only thing I couldn't see him doing was the leaving on a jet plane scene. I just couldn't picture him doing it.
Yeah.
Coming back.
No.
No.
When they're going out, they're singing.
On the jet
yeah.
plane.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
I did go with Terry Crews.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a safe choice in Terry Crews, I think.
I couldn't, like, I was gonna put Batista in.
Yeah. I was actually thinking about people like that as well, and then I was like, no.
But you can picture Terry Crews. You see him in like White Chicks doing the song.
Yeah.
You see him. He's a big specimen of a man.
He is, yeah.
But he can do the kind of serious roles as well. But Bear has a couple of comedy bits as well, where he's on the bike going through the cops. You ain't getting me.
Yeah, he does. And as I said, like I said that when I was giving him as one of my alternates, I was like, I think everyone's going to have thought Terry Crews here, isn't it?
I just couldn't not. It was just too obvious to not go for it. It was like a previous episode we've done with certain ones.
Yeah, that might be what's going to be my downfall here, is that he is such an obvious choice that I maybe should have just gone with him. But I don't know. I think it was actually rewatching Dodgeball where I was like,
Yeah,
I figured that's where you got that from.
I was
He's
like,
a big
man,
guy.
he's a big guy, and he's funny in that as well. Like,
yeah. Right. Well, I'm thinking on that. The way I went with it, my choice, Terry Crews and Winston Duke, were both backups for myself. But I wanted to choose people that we hadn't chosen before for any other roles.
I had no other option. I exhausted all options to try and get this one.
I went with Laz Alonso, who was in The Boys TV show. He was Mother Milk in The Boys. I think he'd play that role quite well.
I avoided him for.
What's your man from Avatar?
I avoided him for use of. I think I might have used The Boys too much in certain other parts. If I used him,
right? Okay.
Well. Yeah.
Fair enough.
He was in Leprechaun 2 as well.
Yeah.
Or no, Leprechaun Back to the Hood. No, what? There was one other one that I was looking at was Tyrese Gibson. But I was just like, I just couldn't. I can't picture him doing it.
No, not at all.
So I leveled out on Terry.
See, on this one here, I suspected Terry Crews. So someone's going to pick Terry Crews, and I wasn't 100% keen on it. But with Jamal Duff, I know he's been in other stuff, as well. But I don't think he's just as big a name as Michael Clarke Duncan was at the time. As this was out, I don't think he's a big enough name for the role. And this was
MCD went on to do Green Mile straight after this, didn't he?
See, I think he went on.
No, I think he was. I think that was beforehand.
No,
I think it
Green
might have
Mile
been
before 2099.
I'm not 100% sure. I'm not 100%
anyway, it was
sure.
one or the other.
Yeah. But I'm going to have to go for Terry Crews for this one.
Yeah.
Big TC never lets you down.
Yeah, it's a hard one not to go with. Like, as I said, it's you see him and you're like, yeah, it's a like Jamal was just one again, like you, Carl. I was kind of like, I've said Terry Crews for a lot of things. Maybe
I've used him in one as well. So
yeah.
Perfect. Okay, so Greg's gone up one so far. Ted on the ropes. Ted on the ropes. On the ropes.
Bad start.
Greg, we'll let you start off with this one, and we have Colonel Willie Sharp, played originally by William Fichtner.
He's such a dick, isn't he?
Oh yeah, he plays a great dick though. He plays a great dick
until the end when he's not a dick.
Do you know who?
Yeah, and that was the same in Prison Break. He was a dick in that until he wasn't.
I didn't watch Prison Break. Actually, I want to try and get your man's name. The backup that I had it wrote down on a different piece. He was the he plays the dickhead and everything. He's in The Guardian and he's in Ravenous and things like that. I'm just trying to get his actual name. He was the other one I have on the page that has about 400 names on it. What's his name? Neil McDonough.
No idea.
He just plays a dickhead and everything. But I only have one name on this list now after I try to whittle it down, and I went to a Patrick Wilson.
Okay.
Good actor. He came
Yeah.
He's stringing out everything at the minute. Now a lot of it's horror, but
yeah,
he's made himself quite the name. Good serious actor, can play a dickhead as well.
Yeah, no, I can see Patrick Wilson in that role. Yeah.
yeah. So my backup was Tom Hiddleston. Obviously,
I actually thought about that after watching
Low-key.
the Marvel. Yeah,
at first I was like low key, but then I was like, is he that type of dick though?
he's not.
Do you
I don't
know?
know if he's that strong type of dick. He's just
Yeah.
he's a mischievous dick.
He's more mischievous than and he's a bit too lovable as well. You know, like people,
Yeah.
even as low key, people love him. So I said he's not really the right one to go with. This is where the boys came into it for me. Carl Urban, who plays Billy
Good actor.
Billy Butcher, who is, I know he's kind of the good guy in The Boys, but he's also not really a good guy. He's a bit of a dick, which kind of fits this role. Like, he's a dick, but he's a dick because he's trying to do the right thing, which is kind of what Willie Sharp, Willie Sharp is always trying to get them to do the right thing. He's trying to follow his president's orders. He's trying to make sure that they do everything they can, but he's still a dick.
He was very good in Judge Dredd, even though the movie was.
Judge Dredd's not
I
great. which is,
really like that movie.
I enjoyed
It's not
Judge Dredd.
Sylvester Stallone's Judge Dredd. It's not
It's
Judge Dredd.
So much better than that.
I
You
think
are wrong.
I think cinematically it probably is better, but it's I think the best role that I could use for him comparably was him in The Boys, where he's a dick, but he's also kind of not a dick. You know, he's trying to do what's best for everybody, but also he's kind of selfish and a bit of a dick.
No, I haven't seen The Boys.
True.
It's on the list to watch.
The Boys is great.
It's
The
very
Boys
good,
is
yeah.
great. My pick for here is because I've seen him with an American accent, and I've seen him playing a dick as well. I went with David Tennant for this role.
Very good. Very good. Yeah.
You know, he can't be. I think that would be a perfect choice for himself there.
Would he be a
This
bit
is-
too big? Maybe would be my only thing. Is David Tennant a bit too big for that part?
Not in the
There was
States.
a lot of it, like William Fichtner was banging out movies left, right, and center as well when he made this.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
maybe.
I never considered William Fichtner to be a lead.
Well, yeah, I suppose.
Yeah, maybe not in the States. David Tennant isn't, but I always think of David Tennant as quite a big star.
Yeah, but that's with Doctor Who over here. Where
Yeah.
he's just all over the place kind of thing, and Broadchurch and
Yeah.
stuff. But I don't see him as a huge star in the States.
Maybe not. Yeah, that
Yeah.
could be fair. That would just be what I would have thought was. I did look at him, and I actually went away from him because I was a bit too afraid of, am I taking
Fair.
someone too big? That's why
Yeah.
I didn't go with him. I had actually thought of him, which is why I was when you said him, I was like, yes, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I've really seen him in much.
He's the bad guy in Jessica Jones, which you haven't watched either, and he's very good in that.
Or he's the guy that he turns into
Mad-Eye
Mad-Eye
Moody.
Moody in one of the Harry Potters.
Greg, you've watched all the Harry Potters like 4 times. He's the 4th one. In the 4th film, do you know the bad guy?
The guy is Brendan Gleeson.
He turns
Exactly.
he turns into Brendan Gleeson. Yeah,
Brendan Gleeson throughout most of the film, and then it turns into him being the bad guy because when Dumbledore
he has the
comes into
weird
the office,
he has the weird
he's like,
tongue thing.
lick it, which was he made that up because that's not in the books.
Yeah.
Greg, they're your favorite films, Greg. You've seen them like 18 times.
22. Get it right, lads.
All right, I'm gonna have to go. Sorry here, but I'm gonna have to go with Greg again here for Patrick Wilson.
He's just that actor at the minute. That
He
seems to
is.
be banging out absolute bangers.
And it's just because he plays a dick so much.
But at the minute
Has
now,
Carl
he's
Urban
not
played
really.
anything? Has Carl Urban played much where he's not kind of a dick though?
Star Trek.
I've never watched Star Trek.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's the Star Trek movies and Lord of the Rings as well.
Was he in Lord of the Rings?
Yeah,
Yeah, he was Aragon, or whatever his name. He was the leader of the Rohans on the horses. The band that got expelled.
Is he?
Yeah.
It doesn't even look like him. Like when I think of Carl Urban,
You mean
that doesn't.
Fairm?
No, I know who he's
Not
talking about.
Faramir, no,
Not
yeah.
Faramir.
Yeah.
Jesus, that doesn't even look like him. Like I would not think that's the same.
I was
actor as
young.
Carl
He
Urban.
was young then, yeah.
Yeah, he's kind of a dick in that as well, though, and then goes on to be a good guy. He's
Yeah,
a dick when they
true.
first meet him.
He was in
Yeah.
Thor Ragnarok as well, wasn't he?
He was, yeah.
Was he?
Yeah.
He was, yeah. He was the bald guy who was Hela's
Squirrel.
Oh, he's not.
The executioner.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Not
And then
a main
ends up with 2 machine guns.
Yeah. No, I just think of him as the guy from The Boys, and I was like,
He was a dick in that as well, actually.
yeah,
He was,
he's
but
a dick
I
in
think-
nearly everything he plays, Greg. Like, honestly, anything I've seen him in, he's
I think
basically a dick.
Patrick Wilson is just, yeah.
Fair enough, yeah.
And we're going to go off to one of the more comedic roles in the film here now, in Liv Andropov, originally played by Peter Stormare.
Brilliant. He is brilliant in this.
He is so good in this role.
Peter Storm is just a brilliant actor, though.
Yeah, he is. He really is. Ted, who did you choose for our Russian?
This is the one that
cosmonaut.
I only had one person.
Okay.
That's the first person that came to my mind, and I just couldn't get them out. Rory McCann.
Rory McCann.
Who is the Hound, but also Yarp.
Okay, yes.
First person that came to my head, and even though Yarp isn't actually, it's not Russian or anything, but it's
I can
the way
see
he,
that
like,
though. Yeah.
I always thought of that character as, Russian, even though they never reference that he's Russian. I've always thought of him as a Russian character.
He does look Eastern European now. That's
Yeah.
not
He
offense
does.
to people or anything.
But we see that
Okay.
he is a good actor as well from Game of Thrones when he's the Hound. Like, you can see his acting acting ability there as well. Although the Yarp thing he does quite well, considering he only has Yarp.
One line.
Yeah.
That
Yarp.
he uses like 15 times, maybe. If
Yeah.
even.
And it works so well. Like, it just
It
works
really
so well.
does. The
People do
timing in that
forget
is
that
great.
that's him, though.
Exactly, yeah.
Oh,
that's
they
the
do,
thing.
yeah.
I only mentioned it because it's from that role that I think of him as the Russian. Like,
Yeah,
even
that's
though
fair.
they have forever referenced it that he's Russian. Just
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's a good choice.
So I had one name on this list because he was the only sort of Russian Eastern European actor that I could find that I looked up that I've seen some movies of, and it was Alexander Nevsky. But having started to rewatch Marvel the other day, well, over the last 2 weeks, I went with Daniel Brawl, or however you say his name.
Daniel Bruhl.
Yeah, that guy. He was the guy who imitated the head doctor, the psychiatrist that interviews Bucky.
He's also
He's a
in.
bit
He's also
small,
in Inglourious Basterds.
He is, yeah.
He's a bit
He's-
small though for the Russian character. I think.
Zemo.
There's nothing really
That
really
needs him to be that
defines-
big. I
yeah.
know, yeah, but
Do you know what I mean? And he's up by himself, and like the way he plays that character in Civil War.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Civil War,
it's-
yeah.
And then
It's-
continues to play it in The Falcon and Winter Soldier.
yeah,
Yeah, he's
it's
brilliant.
more just when he's out of the ship. When he's trying to when they're flying off into space because they've turned off the gravity thing.
Yeah,
I
he's
think-
hitting the thing.
I think the fact that he's a big brutish man works in that, and especially when they're trying to fix the thing.
Peter,
This is
Peter
how we
Stormare's
film.
not that big.
Stormer's not that big,
Hound.
especially
He's
no,
skinny.
Peter Stormare.
No, sorry, Peter Stormare. But the way they present this character is like, this big brutish sort of ape. How do you fix things in Russia? All Japanese or all Chinese parts.
I love that.
Yeah.
What is it? Russian components, American components. Oh, made in Taiwan.
Yeah.
Like,
Excellent line.
For what he does there, he doesn't need to be big. He's only hitting it with a.
It's true, he doesn't.
no, but the way they present the character feels
I-
very big and brutish sort of thing to
I
me.
don't think so.
I always thought of it like I always thought of him as a big brutish character.
No, I'd say he's tall, but I wouldn't. I'd say he's no bigger than probably you or me.
Yeah, I didn't really see him as a kind of strong guy kind of thing. I just saw him as an angry guy.
Sort of. It's just when he's out on when they're on the actual car thing out, and
and he's
they're looking
floating
for-
away.
He's floating away, but he's holding on to the stuff and hitting it, like hitting things with
True.
other things. I just always thought of him as this big kind of angry brute.
Yeah.
That's always the way I viewed him. So
Well, and then if you think of the Hound there, right, floating off into space and hitting stuff with a wrench, he's gonna break it.
maybe.
Like, when he hits that computer board at the end,
I don't know if you ever you could hit a computer board with a wrench pretty hard. It's not gonna
True.
It's not gonna break. It's meant to go up into space. It's not gonna break that easily.
yeah, I don't know, but see, he's a kind of a serious part as well. I know Thing is a good actor as well. But like he has
Daniel
some-
Bruhl's very good.
Yeah.
He is a good actor. Yeah.
My choices here. My backup was Mads Mikkelsen, just because I was looking for
how
that.
did I not even think of that?
I was thinking of that kind of actor. But I actually went with David Dastmalchian.
I'm not even gonna attempt to look at it. You can just tell me what he's in.
He's an Ant-Man. He's one of the guys that's in there, or in the new Suicide Squad. He's Polka Dot Man.
Polka Dot Man. They must have taken that out of name.
Yeah.
But David Dastmalchian, he's very funny and he's very good, and he's been, you've seen him in Ant-Man anyway if you've seen the Marvel
Seen that,
movies.
man, yeah.
He's very good as Polka Dot Man, to be fair to him.
He is. He's
Oh,
so
I do
good as
know. I
Polka
do
Dot
know
Man.
who he is. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's in The Dark Knight. He's in Prison
He
as
is.
well.
Yeah.
He's in loads
Yeah.
of stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
to be fair.
He's very good, but I think a Polka Dot Man is his break-it role. I think he's going to blow up now.
He should not.
Nice.
That role should not have been as good as it was.
I know, so good.
I still haven't seen it, lads.
So that doesn't give away
No,
anything. Just
Do you want to know
he
what?
shouldn't have
Do you
been
know
as
what
good as he
he's
was.
very good in as well? The Jay and Silent Bob reboot. He's
Yeah.
hilarious.
Yeah.
That's not a good. It's not a good film.
Nah,
It's not a good
I-
film, but
Not a
he
big- he was.
I
Good
don't
in
think
it.
it was ever meant to be good though.
yeah, it's true.
Mm.
That's true. I'm going to give this one to Rory McCann. Yeah.
You can see
I
him,
think
can't you? You can just see him
Yeah, I
doing all
can,
of
yeah.
that nonsense.
Even though I can't see him from Game of Thrones because I haven't seen Game of Thrones. So,
Well, I only mentioned Game of Thrones because I think that's what he's.
yeah,
That's
that's what he's
most
well known for. Yeah,
like, yeah. Like as Greg said, people don't even
But
realize that
I
that's
have seen
him.
bits, and when you said who his character was from Game of Thrones, I could see the character, but
Yeah.
I'm not a huge Game of Thrones fan. The next one here, I'm going to actually go with the other really funny role, to get our two comedic guys out of the way. Going to go with Rockhound, originally played by Steve Buscemi.
This is a tough role.
What a
It
man.
was. This is the one that I went the furthest left field on myself, because I went for the look more so kind of thing,
Mhm.
kind of. But I'll let yourself start off, Greg.
So, I had two names that immediately sprung to mind, surely because I was watching a movie that had one of them in it the other night.
Yeah.
One of them, the one that didn't quite make my pick, was one that was cast against me in the Hook episode as
Okay.
Bill Hader.
Okay, yeah,
as
see Bill
Rockhound.
Hader.
Now, I didn't go with that.
Mm.
I went with someone a little more serious, obviously, because some of the stuff that he does is funny with the gun and whatnot. And,
But he's also serious, yeah.
where
yeah.
he's like, no nukes, no nukes.
I just wanted to feel the power between my legs, man.
So I went with somebody that has that little bit of a mental side that, well, has in some of the lines that he's done. I went with Cillian Murphy.
Oh, that's a good choice. That's a
Um,
good choice.
Kind of has that look. He can get away with playing the
does.
extremely smart
Yeah.
part, and then he has obviously the crazy side that you see a Scarecrow 28 Days Later and things like that. No, not
Oh,
that he
I like
needs
that.
anything. Not that he needs anything like that for this movie, because
Yeah.
all he does is sit on a nuke. He doesn't even. Yeah, and then like the
Yeah, he's a few
obviously
other
has-
bits.
he has the
He
gun.
does, he's then it's all beforehand,
stripper.
he's the really, really smart guy, and he's the womanizer, and he's, in debt, 100 grand in debt.
No, but
It's
that's
so
what I mean.
funny.
But like, he doesn't need any of that mentalness. Really,
Yeah.
it's all simple that anyone could do. Kind of.
Yeah,
but
it's
his
like, you know,
acting ability will get him
space
through the
madness.
rest of it.
Yeah.
Space madness, you know.
Especially like
Oh,
bit
what,
when
what did you call it? It was space dementia.
Space
when
dementia.
they're on,
They should just call it space madness.
where
They
they're on
should have, yes.
where they're on the rig and Grace is talking to Harry and she's like, when I got my first period, Rockhound had to show me how to use the thing. I just picture that being Cillian Murphy going,
Tell her. But also in that, you know, when the federal agents arrive and he's like, I swear I thought she was over 18.
Yeah.
You're like, wow, dude. Seriously.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Well,
so
wait.
when I first thought of this role, the first thing I remembered was, oh, it's a womanizer. So I was like, okay, I need someone who's a womanizer. And the person I thought of was Neil Patrick Harris, because I'd kind of forgotten the rest of his role in the film. I was just like, he's a womanizer. And Neil Patrick Harris, like, let's not, like, that lad plays a womanizer insanely well. But I was like,
true.
Willie
for not actually being a womanizer.
Yeah, well, I mean, Rockhound is not really a womanizer. He tries to be a womanizer.
He goes for a stripper.
Right. Exactly. So I kind of thought that prior to rewatching it, and then I was like, that is not the womanizer that Neil Patrick Harris is.
Exactly.
So this one, I might be in a bit of trouble because it's going to depend quite a lot on whether you've watched something or not.
Okay.
Carl's watched everything.
Have you watched Gotham?
Bits.
So
You're choosing the Penguin, aren't you?
No.
No. Okay.
I'm
Danny
choosing
DeVito. I'll give it to him. If he picks Danny DeVito, give it to him.
Cameron Monaghan, who plays the Joker.
Oh, Cameron Monaghan. Yes, I know.
Who plays the Joker. So he goes from being quite a normal, you know, because he is an intelligent guy in it. He's quite a normal guy, and then he just kind of, you can see his descent into madness as well as he becomes the Joker. And it's not like complete madness. There's still like a genius in there.
Yeah.
I love the saying from Steve.
It's the look as well that he can make himself look crazy as well.
I love the saying from Steve Buscemi here where they overshoot the landing, and they're like, "Oh yeah, genius here overshot the landing by 17 miles."
Yeah.
I was like, "Why is that such a problem?" And he's like, "Why did we not want to land here? Because we landed on an iron plate." Like, how does any oil driller know that?
Well,
they do explain why he's so smart.
I hate being wrong or hate being right all the time.
Yeah.
But like, you shouldn't know that. No one has ever landed on that asteroid.
No, but they do have the composition when they're looking to land. So he just has the plans that he's just looked at. I don't know how they know that, but that's how they kind of explain it away. I was more thinking of the scene where when he's sitting there and he's like, I'd picked out a really good spot to sit and watch the world end. And then when they're about to like,
I had a great front seat to the end of the world.
And when they're just about to arrive back, he's like, maybe just don't mention my madness to everybody.
Yeah, exactly.
Like it's the smarmy bit that I was kind of thinking of, like the Joker when he's playing the Joker, he kind of does have that, you know, where he's trying to pretend that he's not the bad guy the whole time, even though he's completely insane. It is a little bit out of left field, and as I said, it does kind of hinge on having watched some of Gotham.
I have seen a little bit of Gotham. I know the character, so that's not affecting this choice whatsoever. My choice was, and I said it was a little left field, but I think he has the look.
Let me get my phone out here.
Aziz Ansari. He can be a bit serious. I know it's, as I said, it's a little left field, but he has the kind of sunken eyes look.
No.
I think
No.
He's too comedy, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. That's you know.
Yeah. It's
why I'm the judge on this one.
It is a left field one. It is the sort of one where you're like,
they're the ones you don't mind taking the pop shots at when you're the judge.
Exactly. Yeah.
I think I'd struggle with him.
For me.
I think I'd struggle just because I think of him as too much of a comedy actor.
Yeah, that's fair.
He is hilarious in 30 minutes or less, though.
I think that's where I'd struggle with him, but like he is a good actor, so he probably could do it as well. You know,
I'm very sad you didn't go for Michael Cera here.
No, he doesn't have the crazy in him. Imagine him trying to act crazy, like, oh, I'm ready for the world end. He doesn't have that crazy in him.
No, he's just funny though.
Yeah, he's funny, but you can't give him the crazy. And I think that's the main part that you need for Rockhound here, is that crazy, like the space madness. That's the main thing that comes from him, really, isn't it?
Well, yeah, there's the genius bit, but
like they keep
most people remember him for.
Yeah, like you can keep mentioning he's a genius, but like there's like he doesn't have to do anything geniusy really. You just say this, and that's what makes him a genius. It's the space crazy that he has.
I love when he gets the gun out and he's like, "Move out of the way, boys. I can take this out myself."
Yeah, he's got space dementia.
Okay. Both are great choices. Both are really good choices there. The only thing that is, and it's the deciding factor in this, is from one line that happens earlier on in the movie, with Owen Wilson, and they say that Owen Wilson is the youngest guy on the rig.
Yeah.
Owen Wilson's character is the youngest guy on the rig, and the rest of them are more experienced and they're there for years.
Is he not the second youngest?
He said that he's the same age as Liv Tyler.
Yeah, you're about 2 days older or something.
Exactly, yeah. So for that reason, I'm going with Cillian Murphy. Right. So what is it? It's 3-1 to Greg. 3-1 to Greg with 5 to go. Are you getting nervous then? Are you getting sweaty?
Not really. Those were a few of the ones that we picked. Like Jamal Duff, I felt was a bit out of left field.
That was wild. If that had a won now, that would have been a point that you probably wouldn't have thought you would have got.
No, it was one that I was like, I think I can get. I was like, but I think Terry Crews is the very obvious choice here. And I was
you obviously thought I wasn't going to go there either.
No, I thought somebody would, but I was like, do I want to put Terry Crews out again? Was my kind of thing. The Carl Urban one is one I didn't think I'd lose. I thought Carl Urban was a very good shout for him.
It was.
To be honest, that's the one I didn't think I'd lose. This one and the other one, I was kind of like, yeah, I can see them going the other way.
Right. Well, that's 4 done. So Ted, we're starting off with yourself here.
Yep.
For Chick.
I love Will Patton, lads.
Will Patton is a legend.
This was a hard one because
it was.
Chick's character is quite weird in that he's the right hand kind of man, but he doesn't do a whole lot.
No.
Like the memorable scene from Chick is.
But he's still a big name, and Will Patton was a big name at that time.
No, I'm not saying that, but like his memorable scenes are the reuniting with his family after we realize that he's a gambling addict. That's kind of the memorable scene from him.
It's not even the reuniting where he goes and sees his son and leaves the rocket there for him.
No, because it's when the son runs up to him at the end.
No, I know that, but like you see that scene where he goes and sees them. And
they set it up there.
Yeah, but that's what, like the whole thing is kind of that,
But that reuniting scene at the end, it brings a tear to your eye.
No, it does. I'm just saying, as an
brings a tear to your eye.
Like the character is integral.
Yeah.
To me, it just kind of felt like he was hard to cast because I was like, he doesn't do a whole lot. Like as an actual character, he doesn't do a whole lot. Now this is one that I definitely think I could go down on because I went very left field on this.
Right.
So the person I went with was
the phone out again.
I hope I pronounced this right. Dominique Miguelias, who was Queen Maeve in The Boys, because I don't feel that if this film was made today, I don't feel this would be an all-male cast with Liv Tyler being the only. I feel that there would have to be a woman coming back from space as a surviving person.
No,
the astronaut who is like such a minor character. I think one of the main characters is going to have to be a woman if this is made today. Like that is something that I think if this was cast today, there is no hope that this is an entirely male cast coming back. I only know her as Queen Maeve from thing, and she's kind of a down on her luck, but still quite confident in herself character in The Boys, which is again why I didn't want to go too heavy with the other choices from The Boys.
She's a TV actress, is she? Mostly.
She seems to be.
Cards.
Yeah, mainly kind of TV or
I
series.
know her. I've seen her. I've only seen 2 of the movies that she's in. Was The Guard with Brendan Gleeson, Don Cheadle, and Leap Year, which was the other one set in Ireland.
Yeah,
she's an Irish actress.
Yeah, for me, I was like, they'll definitely cast a female astronaut, like as one of the main crew, not kind of backup crew. And I was like, which role can they take that's going to be a female? And it needs to be one that survives because they're not going to have it that a female astronaut doesn't make it back either,
I don't
or
know.
like female member of the crew. I think that if this was made today, that would definitely be a requirement.
I don't think so. I think like the whole, obviously I know two girls can adopt a kid and whatnot. I don't think that whole reuniting scene and thrown out scene works.
If it's with the father,
Oh, you're saying if you change the mother to be the Dalek?
yeah, it doesn't have
Yeah,
to
that
be.
could work. That could work actually.
Yeah, you know.
I don't know. I think like if you're gonna cast two, if there's two girls gone to space, one of them's not coming back.
The astronaut, though, she's not a major role.
She's barely in it.
Like,
No, but do you know what I mean? They're still not gonna be. They're still not gonna let two go.
I think they
and one
they
come back.
definitely would. And like, I think one of the main characters needs
and
to come back as a woman.
we're only recasting these 9. I mean,
Yeah.
other sub characters can be recast to whatever kind
Owen
of fits
Wilson's
their.
character definitely could have become a woman.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly like that. Well,
That
he
hair.
dies, he dies, so I don't think they would have. I think they definitely would make sure that they had a female character returning, a female main character returning from space. And this was the only one I could think where you could change it.
Okay. What about yourself here, Greg?
Right. I struggled because I love Will Patton in everything.
He is very good.
Will Patton's great.
Obviously, he's in one of my favorite movies in Remember the Titans as Coach Yost.
Hmm.
He's in loads of movies that you see, and there's in some movies that you don't even realize he's in.
Yeah.
There was only one person I actually had on my list, and again, it was someone that we cast earlier on in the show. Not in this, obviously, this episode. I went with Oscar Isaacs.
Okay.
I really struggled here. I went back through the list that I had for the old ones, looking up pictures, looking up movies that I'd seen them in. I had vaguely looked at Ethan Hawke as well, but I kind of veered away. I veered him towards somebody else that we think, but yeah, I went with Oscar Isaacs. I just took a punt on it and hoped for the best here.
Okay. My choices here, I was down to 2, and because I'm the judge, I said to myself, I don't have to make the hard decision.
No, you don't.
And I went with Will Patton.
I can make that hard
Correct.
decision later on when I'm putting the polls up. My 2 choices was actually, one of them was Carl Urban for this role,
Okay.
and the other was Sam Worthington.
Oh, what a man.
Hmm.
Ben Foster could have been a good one too.
And honestly, Greg, if you had gone with
Ethan
your
Hawke.
second choice there, Ethan Hawke, you would have won it. I don't think Oscar Isaac fits this role.
I
and-
said I struggled.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think Oscar Isaac fits this role at all. And I wasn't not 100% keen on Dominique taking it either, but I think I don't think Oscar Isaac fits it whatsoever. So I'll go with Dominique for this one and make it 3-2.
Yeah. I do think that they would have, like, genuinely, I do think that they would have a female return.
Yeah, and again, if it was a female, the role might be slightly different, and yada yada. It wouldn't be exactly the way it went down, kind of thing. But
Yeah. Now, it does change certain aspects of the rest of the film, possibly, but
it does, because the way lines they're saying, like, we're all her father, kind of thing, and
yeah, but also it's meant
Yeah.
to be like she works on an oil rig, and if she's working on the oil rig, she might be quite masculine and stuff as well. You know, like
Yeah.
there's loads of things that it could change, but might not change, and things like that. But
True.
I do think that they would insist, and I was like, I can't think of a character that kind of does so little, but is also quite an integral character.
True.
Can we
And
just
I was like-
recast Will Patton, lads?
as Will Patton.
Just
Yeah.
recast Will Patton. All right, so that's that one done. Greg, get the momentum back behind you. We have Dan Truman, Billy Bob Thornton.
Is
Oh
it
man,
is it Greg first or me first on this one?
it's me.
Greg, yeah,
Greg.
you just went with Dominique first.
Oh, I did. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Sorry, I was trying to think.
Again, another one that I was saying I had Ethan Hawke drawn to somebody else. I drew him to Truman.
Yeah. Okay, I can still see that. Yeah.
But wasn't my pick.
Okay.
I struggled to find one, and I was watching something the other night, and it dawned on me. I rewatched Armageddon the other night, and I got an idea from it. So I went with Ben Affleck as Truman.
Okay. Yeah. I see that.
Surely for the scene when he's going down, and obviously Harry pulls his air hose out, and he's sending him up, and he's like, "Give this thing Truman." You see Ben Affleck's chin quivering, and the scene then it goes back to where you see Truman in NASA, and he's like, "Prepare the world for bad news." I was like, you could see Ben Affleck doing that.
Yeah, no, I can't see it, but I can't see Affleck in that role.
Like Billy Bob was a big actor at this time as well.
Yeah, that's true.
obviously,
Maybe not current Affleck though, because current Affleck is huge.
Too broad.
Like he's huge.
Then again, don't forget, Truman also said that he was training to be an astronaut, so he would have been healthy enough, other than the knee injury. You know what I mean?
True.
Yeah, could have been.
Now, don't get me wrong, Sharp doesn't look like he's in the best of shape.
Sharp's always kind of been a wiry character, though, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Like,
True.
or well, sorry, not Sharp, but like
Fitchner.
Thornton. No, well, Thornton.
Oh,
like
Thornton,
he's always
Truman,
been a kind of he's always kind of been a bit of a wiry guy, hasn't he? Like,
yeah, good
True.
actor though. Good actor.
no, he's a
Very
great
good.
actor, but like he's always been a kind of wiry character. He's never been a big guy. Like,
Well, then again, I haven't seen Ben Affleck in much lately. I know he packed it on for Batman.
he's still
He's
carrying
on.
it. Yeah, he's
If you
still
saw
carrying
him,
on.
if you saw him in Jane Silent Bob reboot, you can even see him there. Like he's
Still quite
huge,
big,
man.
Yeah, but then again, that's another part of a movie that you don't really need to say whether he's skinny or.
It's true.
Do you know what I mean? Like you have a
Yeah,
knee
no.
injury, you could be lifting.
But
in the gym all
he's
the time.
behind a desk. He's behind a desk. Like they don't generally cast
Terry
guys like that.
Crews is behind the desk in Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Yeah, but you see him working out all the time.
I don't know. I only went with that because I only seen a picture of it. I haven't seen the show.
Of course.
No, he's always
Brooklyn
working out.
Nine.
It's so funny in
Yeah.
9-9. He's so good. Okay, so we're Dan, obviously. Billy Bob Thornton. This one was tough for me. At one point, I thought of Martin Freeman.
Oh, what an actor!
Oh
He's
yeah.
a fantastic actor.
Yeah.
But I was like, does he? Dan is kind of like a down, like he's kind of beaten down a bit. Do you know what I mean? Like that he didn't get to be an astronaut. So like you can kind of
Yeah.
get from him that he's a little bit beaten down. And as good as Martin Freeman is, I don't think I've seen him be the beaten down kind of old man. Like I know he's not old, but he's kind of like the beaten down, vet.
Is he not?
so-
Is he not one in
Sherlock.
that show where
I didn't watch Sherlock in the end, so
where his kid goes missing?
I don't know what show that is.
Like
So
Vanished or
Martin
something?
Freeman would be great for that role, really.
no,
But
he would.
you
But
chose you said that wasn't your choice. So.
no, it wasn't. I also did think of Brad Pitt at one point. But
Okay. Yeah.
again, I was like, Brad Pitt is kind of a little bit bigger now. So I went with someone who kind of fit the frame and fits that kind of beaten down, but like still has that.
Please be Jack Black. Please be Jack Black.
No, it's not Jack Black. It's back to an old favorite on here, Cobra Kai.
Oh, God.
William Zabka, who plays Johnny Lawrence. He has that kind of beaten down, but like that guy can act as well. And I do think for the getting angry and rebelling against everyone around him, which is basically what this character is. Like the president says to do this, and he just rebels against that. I can just see the kind of badass streak of Johnny Lawrence in that.
Other than Cobra Kai, have you and the first Karate Kid? Have you seen William Zabka act in anything else? Because he's fucking awful. He's in King Cobra and everything. He's awful.
I haven't seen him in anything else, so I can only base it off what I've
if
seen
you
him.
can only base on what you've seen,
and he's
very
been
good
very
at Cobra Kai.
He's been very good in those, and he plays that sort of beaten down, but also not beaten down, not ready to give up.
He's done a lot of those B-rated movies.
Yeah.
I know he's not as big as an actor as Thornton is, but again, I think based on how well he's done in Cobra Kai for that particular role, I think he would be looked at And he kind of fits the look and the frame, is what I was thinking of.
Oh, sorry, it wasn't King Cobra he was in. He was in Pythons 1 and 2.
My choices were, one of them, I went with David Schwimmer as my backup choice.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good choice.
It seems like the kind of character he would play.
It's hard not to see him as Ross, though, isn't it?
It is. That's why I didn't
What happened?
ultimately go with him. My main choice was Sam Rockwell.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
You win.
I'm gonna have to give it to Greg.
Yeah.
My
I'm gonna
other,
have to give it to Greg.
my other argument was also that you've just fallen into the trap that Carl does fall into himself on these, is that you went, oh, I watched this and
Yeah,
Ben Affleck was in it.
I'm not
He's only
doing
done
it
that
because
once.
I actually have
Carl
done
does
that
that-
like 3 or 4 times.
Carl does that all the time.
Sorry, yeah, no, he done it with Alan Ruck as well, didn't he?
I'd say
I
about
do
8
I do with
films that Carl
everybody.
does it. Yeah.
I think every single one I've done, I've ended up doing that.
Get in, Benjamin.
Right, so we're 4-2 going into the last 3.
Can't wait to lose all 3 of these.
And we'll start off with the love interest.
No.
We have Grace Stamper, played by Liv Tyler.
Is she the love interest or is she not the main bit of it?
She's the love interest. Jesus.
She's very much just the love interest, I think. Like,
And let's be honest, lads. Liv Tyler is not good in this movie. She's not.
Pretty good to look at, though.
I mean, she's great to look at, but she cannot act in anything I've ever seen her in. She's not a good actress.
She's all right in Lord of the Rings.
for the minimal parts she does.
Minimal.
Yeah.
Minimal.
Albeit the best thing that Michael Bay did for this movie was cast her, because then her dad went on to do the song.
As I said,
True.
I think that was in his mind. He was just like, oh,
No,
a
because
song from Aerosmith.
It wasn't supposed to be Aerosmith that done the song. It was supposed to be David Bowie, I think.
I don't know, but I think
I heard that somewhere. I think it was Bowie that it was meant to be.
Right.
And then when she signed on, Steven
Aerosmith
Tyler
came
signed
in. Cool.
yeah,
and produced an absolute banger.
Oh yeah, big time.
yeah. As we said, like this role, she doesn't do particularly well in this role, but I think it is quite an important role in certain ways as well. Even if she
Very much so.
Even if she doesn't do particularly great in it. Person I went with for this was Lucy Hale, who was in Truth or Dare and Fantasy Island. That's the two things I've seen her in. I think she's a very good actress.
I've heard the name. Let me just check her up.
The one from Cinderella.
That's not. I haven't seen her in Cinderella, but I've seen her in Truth or Dare and Fantasy Island. I thought she was very good in them. They're different to what this role entails, but I think
Okay, yeah,
she has I think she has the acting ability to do this role.
Fantasy Island was supposed to be awful, was it?
It's okay. It's passable, but like you can see her acting ability in it. Sort of thing.
Her biggest thing is Pretty Little Liars.
Yeah, Zoe would have given you the vote, Ted.
I've never seen Pretty Little Liars, so I definitely wasn't basing it off that.
If any females watching this, they'll give you that vote.
Fair enough, but I don't know what that is. So I know I've heard the name, but never watched it.
What it is.
Never seen it. So it's just based on what I've seen in those two films. I think she's quite a good actress, and I think she'd be able to do this role. She's not a huge name either. What? Truth or Dare's okay. It's okay. It's possible. But like she's not a huge actress in my mind anyway. Maybe other people think she is. But like Liv Tyler, Liv Tyler's not huge. Look at her fucking cinema, like the thing she's been in. It's this and Lord of the Rings. This and Lord of the Rings, and that's it. Like
more than that.
Not really.
Maybe not actually. Thinking about it now.
Yeah.
I thought this must have sparked her into Lord of the Rings then.
I thought the same as you, Greg. Oh, she's been in a few things because she was in Lord of the Rings. No. That's kind of it.
Be the only thing she's in.
She's probably in something else, but nothing major.
She's exactly. What about yourself, Greg? What's your?
So obviously going by what you went with earlier, with the statement that she's the youngest on the rig.
Yeah.
I had a couple on the list. I had Brie Larson.
Okay.
And then I remembered that I don't really like Brie Larson because she is terrible in Captain Marvel. Uh,
I don't think
I
she's terrible. I think the film's not great, but I
Yeah.
know she's terrible.
I had Maisie Williams, who was obviously Arya Stark in Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
And I just didn't see either of the two of those doing
No.
because theoretically Liv Tyler's sort of the good looking girl.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I went with Chloe Grace Moretz.
Okay.
Good actress, doesn't have to do very much. He's easy on the eye, we'll say, and she's kind of about that right age that I played in with the next kind of character that's going to be left.
Okay.
So you know, it has to kind of tie in. Around
Yeah, you have to tie it in with the love interest, and then also the father.
Big Harry stamp.
I had 3 people here. The first one there, I was speaking to you guys earlier on about it. Well, you'd have to kind of do a double act with the father if you're going to do it. I chose Lupita Youngo.
Yeah, you're saying that.
I was saying that earlier on. I think she'd be great for the role. You know, another choice I went with was Kirsten Stewart.
Nope.
Surprisingly, someone I had on my list.
Nope.
Yeah. But the one I went with, because you know, not a huge name, but can still play this role, was Hayden Panettieri.
The one from Remember the Titans.
Yes. She was also in Heroes. She was the cheerleader in Heroes.
Didn't watch that.
Never seen Heroes.
As you can imagine, I don't really watch a whole lot of TV shows.
Yeah, no, Hayden Panettieri was. No, she is. She is a good actress.
Yeah.
But looking at that, like Chloe Grace Moretz isn't really doing up to much now either anymore. So
she was just in Tom and Jerry. That's how I know you got it.
I had to sit through that in the outdoor cinema, lads. It was rough going.
I say so. I'm going to have to give this one to Lucy Hale.
I think all 3 choices are quite solid choices as well.
Yeah,
like,
they are. It's just Chloe Grace Moretz, to me, I think she just looks that bit too young. I know she may not be, but she still has that too young of a look, and the role that she's playing, getting engaged, and you know, I'd feel uncomfortable. It'd be the same if you chose Maisie Williams. I'd feel uncomfortable seeing her in that role.
In a sense, yeah. I think that's kind of where I was looking as well. I was like, I don't want, and I had said it to you that I found this one her a tough role to cast because I was like, I don't want to cast her as someone too young either.
Exactly. Yeah, it's just
Margot Robbie, lads. We missed the trick here.
No, can't be Margot Robbie.
Can be Margot Robbie.
I wouldn't mind it being Margot Robbie, but I mean,
no, it can't be Margot Robbie.
And the lads would have crucified me if I chose Zendaya also.
I don't crucify you for Zendaya. Greg does.
Although Zendaya, honestly, she wouldn't be bad in this role.
I had thought about it, and I was like, no, she's a bit far too young here.
I think again we would have fallen into the thing of she might be a bit too young.
That's the thing. She can
look older. She can look
older. If you've watched that Malcolm and Marie,
that
was on Netflix. You know, she
can, but I think when you think of her, the first thing you think is Spider-Man, and you're like, ugh.
Did you know Liv Tyler was in the Avengers?
No.
She was in a flashback for the Hulk.
No, that doesn't count.
It was a deleted scene.
That doesn't count.
I was wondering. I just thought the
doesn't count.
Yeah. Right. So we move on to Ben Affleck's AJ Frost. And we'll go starting off with Greg,
isn't it?
Well, it is 3-4 now. It is 3-4.
It's tight.
It's match point here.
If Greg gets this, he wins.
He might get this as well. This was one I wasn't confident on.
Oh, he's on the ropes, Greg. Can you hit the knockout blow?
No. We've seen this before.
You might with this one.
Really?
Michael B. Jordan. No. He was actually my backup.
Okay. Not a bad backup, actually.
I went through about 15, 20 different things looking for people sort of in and around the same age.
Yeah.
And one then I went back to was actually a TV show that I watched with the other half. And we watched Teen Wolf. And for some reason or another, the main guy from Teen Wolf didn't do much after this, but Dylan O'Brien went on to be in The Maze Runner and things like that.
Dylan O'Brien.
He's gone on to be a good actor.
I know Dylan O'Brien, yeah.
That was my pick for AJ. Kind of serious. I think he's 29 or so. I think Chloe Grace Moretz was about 24, 25, so it wasn't too bad in the age difference.
Yeah, I suppose that doesn't really matter though, because it kind of matters what they're being portrayed as, really, doesn't it?
Well, yeah, but I kind of went off the.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean though, but yeah.
But Dylan O'Brien's got good acting. He was pretty good in Teen Wolf, and then got better in the likes of The Maze Runner and whatnot.
Haven't seen him in Teen.
He's in The Internship as well, and he's in Bumblebee.
I haven't seen those. But The Internship's the one with Robert De Niro, is it?
No, that's the one with
that's The Intern.
Owen Wilson. That's Owen Wilson and Vince Vaughn.
Wow.
Yeah.
When they worked for Google.
Yeah.
I liked Dylan O'Brien in Teen Wolf and whatnot. Seen him in a couple, as I said, seen him in a couple other things.
Haven't seen him in Teen Wolf. He wasn't big in Bumblebee, was he? Or am I?
Honestly, I can't remember. I just watched.
That's what I'm trying to think. I know he was.
I watched Bumblebee once when I was on a flight back on a small TV, so I can't quite remember.
Yeah, I can't remember. I remember the film being one of the better Transformer films, but
without a doubt,
I'm like, oh, I don't know. I don't really remember much about that film, even though I think it was one of the better Transformer films, which is sad.
Yeah.
So this one again, I thought was quite difficult because I don't know
just saying there, sorry, for Chick there, or one of the characters actually, Shia LaBeouf wouldn't have been a bad choice. Not for AJ or Harry, but Shia LaBeouf wouldn't have been a bad choice for someone on the rig. Probably Rockhound, yeah. Shia would have been a really good choice there, actually.
Yeah.
Especially when you watch his performance in Disturbia.
For AJ, right? So I struggled with this one because I was thinking, how old? And maybe you can use now, but like, how old was Affleck when he did this role? Because he doesn't look. He doesn't.
I'd say
look particularly young either.
Late 20s, maybe.
He looks kind of a bit old as well, doesn't he?
Ben Affleck was 26.
Okay, so he was quite young. I don't know. Just when I rewatched it, I was like, maybe it's just because I know Ben Affleck from now, but I kind of looked at him and I was like, kind of looks a little bit older than I expect that character to look. And maybe that's just in my mind from Ben Affleck still kind of looking the same. I don't know, but I kind of got that feeling from like the character was a little bit older, even though they do reference that it's a young character. Just in my head,
they don't even say it's young. They just say she's the youngest on the rig.
Well, she is, and then he's
no. Then Owen Wilson is the second.
He's older than Owen Wilson, but yeah.
Yeah, so there is an age gap.
There is a slight age gap. So at first I thought Zac Efron would actually do okay here.
He was a backup for me.
And he was a backup because he wasn't the first name I thought of. And this one is why I feel it's a little bit out of left field, because I do think a lot of people hate on this character, but
I have a funny feeling I know who you're going to say.
In the few other things I have seen him, like the few things I have seen him in recently, Robert Pattinson, who I actually like. I thought he's been quite good in certain things, and
Robert Pattinson is fucking elite.
He is, but he still has this stigma of people hating him, right? And I don't think he's that old now, but I don't think he looks old either. He still plays the kind of young guy in a lot of films. Now, this is do you remember when you said earlier that you had Kristen Stewart? I actually had Kristen Stewart as that role first. Then when I thought of Robert Pattinson for this, I was like, I don't think I can put Kristen Stewart as that role, because if I put Pattinson as this and then Stewart as the other one, I'll definitely not get it.
You get Twilight hate then, yeah.
He's
exactly.
35 or something now.
No, is it? He's still, but like even in.
But he still looks young.
Yeah,
what was the name of it? What was the name of it? That Tenet. Yeah, he's kind of like the young upper comer in that. So I kind of thought of him in that role.
Okay.
So that's who I went with. But like,
I kind of went this kind of same thought when I just looked up his age and he's 37 or 38, and I was just like, whoa, Lord, I don't think he looks that old. I went with Adam Driver for that role.
Is he that old? Is he?
Someone I was thinking of, and someone I don't think of as being that old, but was someone I thought of at one point. Yeah.
Yeah, he was a late starter, really coming in as an actor, wasn't he?
He was,
as a big actor.
So good. He's so good. Like Bar Star Wars Marriage Story he was phenomenal in it.
He's very good in that comedy horror as well. I know you haven't seen it, Carl, but he's
The
very
Dead
good in
Don't
that.
Die, is it?
The Dead Don't Die. He's so good in that.
So funny, breaking the fourth wall.
So good. So good.
And it's got Bill Murray.
I do love Bill
Murray.
I do love Bill Murray.
I think it's going to happen again. It's 4-4.
Big draw. Whoa, down to the final.
That's how he talked me out of that one.
Why? Who did you have?
Michael B. Jordan as well.
He was someone I'd thought of, but then
Michael B. Jordan could have won that one for you.
He was someone I'd thought of as well, but then I didn't put him on my shortlist, but it was someone I thought of, and then I was like, have I said Michael B. Jordan a bit too much?
You've talked yourself out of a couple of ones there. Like
I could have really been 6 up here, really.
Yeah, you could. Like,
no, I think Yarp had me sorted. I think
because you told me I would have won with my backup.
For Dan Truman, he would have won if he didn't change from Ethan Hawke.
No,
same as Chick.
I'm saying for Yarp, I think that one.
Oh, that one, yes, that one, yeah.
I don't think he had me for that anyway. And like I talked myself out of Chick as well, or for Dan as well, because I had Martin, or for sorry.
Yeah, that's true. Martin
Chick,
Freeman, yeah.
And yeah.
You won Chick.
Yeah, but I talked myself out. Like I haven't Martin Freeman listed as Chick on the list that I sent in, but I don't know why, because that's not where I had him.
Yeah,
I had him as a backup as thing, but yeah, it was.
I argued the wrong point. Damn it.
Yeah.
So it all comes down to the finals. Harry Stamper and Ted, the reigning champion. Will you defend? We have Bruce Willis. Bruce Willis is Harry Stamper, the hero of the film.
Harry Stamper is a tough one, right? Because
he is.
It's not the generic Bruce Willis role, right?
Not at all. You can actually see him. You can actually see him act in this, which he doesn't do.
Yeah. No, well, like even in other films, like where Bruce Willis is Bruce Willis, like he's the typical Bruce Willis role, where he's the big hard man. You know, he still does act in them very well. It's just this isn't really that sort of role. You know, even though he is, you know, you can see that he is a kind of hard man, like a man's man. But like, there's the emotional side, and you know,
it's more of an acting role.
It's a more in-depth acting role, and I was like, who do you put in for Bruce Willis? Because Bruce Willis was very good at this role, but then at the same time, if I was casting this, I probably wouldn't have thought of Bruce Willis. Do you know what I mean? Like, because I don't think of Bruce Willis in that sort of role. So this one was quite tough. I thought, my first thought, right, and I think this might be to do with the fact, with spoiler warning, Bruce Willis dies, right? I think my first thought
really?
is, I think my first thought came from the fact that he dies, when I was like, Sean Bean, right? Sean Bean.
Give that man the win now. Give that man the win.
Sean Bean dies all the time.
But but he doesn't usually make it till the end.
Exactly.
He has that movie where he's like the war vet that's going around killing people. He makes it to the end of that one.
Yeah, exactly. Sean Bean doesn't tend to make it to the end. He probably would have been somewhere else. He's also, I think, probably a little bit too old for that role now. He must be in his 60s by now.
Yeah, but Bruce Willis is 66.
Yeah, which would mean he's the same age as
probably
Bruce Willis.
Older, I'd say.
I was like, he's the same age as Bruce Willis now, and Bruce Willis was cast in this like 20 years ago. So
yeah,
I was like, he might be a little bit too old. I thought of Henry Cavill.
No.
But
he's more of an AJ casting than Harry casting.
I was like, is he a bit young, maybe, to go there?
Yeah.
Now the person I did go with is a tough one, because it is also someone that plays a bit of a younger character and stuff. But I think plays that, you know, like loyal to his people the whole time, even though he doesn't feel it's the best for him. Sebastian Stan, who is someone that you've used before, I know, and maybe looks a little bit young, but I feel he has the acting chops for it. And again, it's not really a Bruce Willis-y role either. Maybe it's not really a Sebastian Stan one either, but it seemed to work very well with Bruce Willis, was my thinking, that I was like, Sebastian Stan could do that, like, because you can see him as the hero, you know, I'll take the fall, even though someone else was meant to die. He's like, no, it's going to be me. And I can see that in Sebastian Stan from kind of the Marvel stuff as well.
Yeah.
Again, I don't know if it's a strong cast. I struggled with that one, I have to say.
I'm going to give you my argument to that before I give you my pick.
Okay.
Right? Lucy Hale is 32, right? Sebastian Stan is 39.
Does Lucy
yeah,
Hale look 32 though?
Well,
ages
you're
for
talking about him
yeah.
being 17 or 18 when he has her to set up a company then and make it a worldwide best driller. By the time he's say 39, 40.
Well, how old was Thing when she played?
She was
How old?
20.
And how old was Bruce Willis?
He was 40.
40 something.
So you're talking kind of like there's a 20-year age gap
Yeah,
there, but I
there's
think
just a
Lucy
couple of
Hale
years.
I think Lucy Hale looks quite young anyway.
Can she get away with a 20-year-old?
I think so, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, anyway, I seen that.
Well, like I don't know what Pretty Little Liars is about, but I'm going to assume that's a set in and
I
around.
think it's about murder. I think.
I'm assuming.
I couldn't tell you.
I couldn't tell you, but I'm going to assume it's set around some sort of teenage or like late teen drama. That is my guess on what that is about.
Yeah, I think it's about murder and deceit and lies.
Well, I
and
think
things.
it definitely Pretty Little Liars. So they're lying about something. Murder is a pretty good thing to lie about.
True. Very true.
Right. I'll give you mine and we'll see what happens.
You don't sound confident in what you picked either.
Dog the Bounty Hunter.
Oh yeah. Isn't he dead though?
No, his wife is.
Oh.
Yeah.
No. Ted hit it spot on here. Bruce Willis acting was a good thing to see in this. So I went with a strong actor.
Okay.
But who can play that kind of like Bruce Willis doesn't look loaded. He might own an oil rig. He kind of looks a bit disheveled at times. I went with Matthew McConaughey.
Oh, okay.
When you see him in the likes of True Detective and things, he's just a phenomenal actor all around.
Okay.
Like you could see him playing like Bruce Willis again, like Chick doesn't really do much apart from chase AJ around with a shotgun.
No, I think he does do a lot, to be fair. Like, because he talks about he used to have the drill done wrong.
No, but like he doesn't do much himself. Like you don't see him in the thing drilling down or.
No, he's
like
the foreman. Like he is the foreman, and he's like, "This is what you just need to do." And
but like I think Matthew McConaughey could pull that off, no end.
Okay. Okay. My choice is there, and so the one that would have gone with Lupita, I had chosen Will Smith for this role.
Yeah, someone I had thought of, but again, then that would change my vote.
Exactly. Yeah,
later.
you have to change Grace,
That's
which I think
we could have put Zendaya in, Carl. We would have been laughing.
So I think we need to do this on Recast. We once a show, everyone has a choice or something that we decide that we can do. Okay, instead of just one, we can vote on a double act and then do the two of them together. I just think we might be able to do that.
The problem is then that you have to leave the choice until you've heard both. I think.
Yeah. Something we'll discuss off screen. But the one that I chose to go for the main role there was Matt Damon.
Oh yeah, Matt Damon could do it.
And I think it's funny Matt Damon taking the role of,
Matt
Affleck's father-in-law.
Matt Damon has been ruined for me by Team America.
Yeah, okay,
but and it shouldn't ruin it, but I can't hear the name Matt Damon. Matt Damon. I hate that it's done that to me because he is such a phenomenal actor as well.
He is. He's a great actor, and like he's probably the right age, and he's the right grumpiness about him at this age. I think he's probably just gone into his late 40s or 50s, which
possibly
is what you'd say Bruce Willis is playing at that time. He has the right build for it, and he has done the action movies like Bruce Willis has done before. He's done Bourne and stuff, so I mean he has the kind of and I can definitely see him in that role.
By far a better actor.
Yes, 100%.
No, it would be a good choice. I'm just saying that Matt Damon has been ruined for me by Team America. That's not his acting ability, but just his name. He needs to change his name. That's it. Start calling himself Matthew Damon or something, just to get rid of the Matt Damon.
Matty D.
Just anything, because you can't use Matt Damon anymore.
Matt Damon is 50 now.
Yeah. I mean, I can.
Yeah. Bruce Willis is 100% supposed to be playing someone in his 50s.
Yeah.
Probably, yeah.
Like that's why I don't think Sebastian Stan. He doesn't look old enough. I know he can do things.
Yeah, I don't know. I think he does kind of look.
I don't think he does.
Sometimes, yeah, I don't know. Like, I think
Like Matthew McConaughey, 51. You could make him look 60, 70. You can make him look younger.
You make him look younger as well.
yeah, I don't know. Matthew McConaughey, I don't know.
He's just.
I just never think of him in that
He's just
sort
one
of
the
role.
best actors around, really.
No, he is very good. I just don't think of him in that sort of role.
Another backup I had was Colin Farrell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Greg doesn't like Colin Farrell, but
I love Colin Farrell.
I do like
I think Colin Farrell's probably the best actor in Hollywood at the minute.
I haven't seen him in Batman, but in the new Batman.
Can't wait for that.
I'm looking forward to that.
Oh, my brain hurts after that.
Phone booth, Greg.
Yeah, it's great when you can make a one-man movie. It's great.
Yeah.
But then you watch him as Daredevil or as Bullseye in Daredevil.
Yeah, but that movie's bad.
Yeah, but you're not allowed to count Daredevil because Daredevil is so shit. Except the TV show. TV show can be counted. That's really good.
I didn't really watch all that. I watched like the
Really
first
good.
half of the first season.
And actually, you have Ben Affleck and Michael Clarke Duncan reuniting in that film. I didn't realize.
In which,
Unfortunately,
Daredevil.
In Daredevil.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, yes.
Kingpin, yeah.
So, we have a new champion.
I
don't think so. Matthew McConaughey. I just don't.
Yeah, I honestly for that
he's
one,
like
I don't.
He's real. Wiry.
I don't see McConaughey. I see McConaughey in the role more than I do Sebastian Stan.
Age-wise, maybe, but
I don't. I wouldn't be 100% keen on McConaughey either.
I think McConaughey is it's kind of due to age that.
And it's the age and some of the more emotional roles as well.
His emotional stuff isn't great. It's like in this, So that's the one thing.
That's because it's Bruce Willis acting.
I don't think it even is. I think it's.
Take that name down right now.
I think. I don't think it even is just Bruce Willis. I just think that the writing for the emotional scenes wasn't great.
It's a Michael Bay film as well.
Yeah, I just thought the writing for emotional stuff wasn't
Michael
great.
Bay was always going to cast an action star.
Which is kind of.
I think he's copped on now.
That's kind of what I was thinking about, in the sense of Sebastian Stan he's an
action star now.
Action star. He's kind of got the bulk. He's definitely not as bulky as Bruce Willis, but he's kind of got that bulk frame where you could imagine him being the big tough guy as well. And that's
true.
I don't know if I could see Matthew McConaughey in the role of the bulky pushing the other younger guy back into the thing.
This is where
again he's the foreman, and
it was always going to be him, wasn't it? You could see it from very early when you realized that someone's staying behind. You knew it was going to be him.
No, you know it's going to be him, but I don't obviously McConaughey pushing anybody back in to be the one that stays there, sort of thing.
Especially if it's Rob Pattinson.
Rob Pattinson's a relatively big guy.
Yeah, but
see, he has no choice because he doesn't just push him back in. He pulls.
Yeah, he pulls the air tank. Yeah,
I know. Yeah, but just
I love the little thing where he rips. Now something's not right here, lads. That it doesn't add up, right? So when he pulls AJ's air tank out, right, he rips his own uniform. He rips the badge off. He just rips it clean off.
Yeah, but it's only stitched on, so it'll come off.
It's a space suit. You shouldn't be able to just pull something off like that.
That's only stitched on.
It's stitched on the outer layers, like.
Make sure Truman gets this.
Yeah, that is something you'd be able to peel off.
There is a bit of a few scenes in this movie that hit you right in the feelers, don't they?
Oh, 100%.
It's a very heartfelt film. Like
it's the most Michael Bay, un-Michael Bay movie you'll ever see. If that's that can be the only description I can give you for it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, because Michael Bay doesn't normally do things like that.
No, he doesn't. No,
he doesn't make you cry your own tears, unless they're tears of joy of action. But
I don't know. That's
Ted, you almost got to come back there. Like you're on the back foot from the start.
I did think that Sebastian Stan was a tough one because of his age, but I also think that you can't just slap a beard on him. He looks a bit older. And I was action star wise, I was like, when sacrifices himself for Captain America in the original Captain America and stuff. I was like, you can see him being the one that sacrifices himself. You can see him being, chasing a guy around with a fucking gun because
I know, of course.
I can see him doing all of that.
Just for the age thing on that one.
When
Is it-
you said Sebastian Stan, I was like, yes.
No, I still think Sebastian Stan's a good choice for that. I think like aging him up by a couple of years isn't going to be that big a deal.
I think he would have worked better.
Like I know the character is meant
if-
to be in his 50s, but Bruce Willis doesn't look in his 50s at all.
I
in this.
think he does look a lot older than 40, whatever he was.
I don't think he
look-
does.
I think so. But when you said that, I was like, grand, because that doesn't work with the rest of the cast. So I was eerily confident then.
No, I think it does work. I like genuinely. I don't think that him being only in his late 30s would be an issue, because I mean Bruce Willis was 40 when he did it, or 40
No, I wonder,
something.
right? I'm just thinking, right? If we had to say recast Daniel Brawl or Brill, whatever his name is, Winston Duke, we could have just had a Marvel reunion here.
It's very true. It's very true. That tends to happen. I mean, because let's face it,
It's big stars.
The biggest
everyone's in
ones,
Marvel.
Yeah.
Everybody's in Marvel. So I mean, it's hard to do a cast without someone that's in that has been previously in a Marvel movie.
Yeah.
I'm surprised Christian Bale hasn't been dragged in yet.
Mm,
Eventually. So
sure, he'll
Ted,
eventually come into them.
you get the
Um,
decision. What movie are we doing next?
Yeah. So although I don't think I should have lost, but I did.
And again, if you think about it, Ted, I talked myself out of 3 more points.
I talked myself out of a couple as well, though. To be fair, like you giving yourself a loser, and then I put someone forward, and Carl was like, "No, I don't like that either." You know, I'm gonna go with a superhero film,
Ooh.
Bollocks.
right?
I lose.
And it's not well received,
Oh,
really not well liked. I love it because I love the cheesiness of it.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Batman and Robin.
oh Lord.
It's so cheesy, lads. It's so cheesy.
Oh no.
No teens to really be done, so you're safe on that.
Oh no.
Yeah.
When you look at the actors that were in that movie, it should
Mhm.
have been a lot fucking better than it was.
it should have been. That's what makes it so
Like,
good.
I think this is the first bad movie that we're recasting.
It's not a bad movie though. It's deadly. So good, lads.
I have to actually. I'm gonna go and rewatch this now. 'Cause
You're
I
gonna
haven't
have
watched
to.
this in about
You're gonna
20
have to.
years.
God, I'm gonna have to rewatch it.
You're gonna have to.
Yeah,
It's so
I
good.
don't. I think this is one, Carl. If you want to just take a default and give me a 2-0 win, I'll gladly do that, so you don't have to punish yourself and watch this.
It's not punishment. It's so good, lads. It's so cheesy.
Right.
But
Anyway,
that's
there we
it for
go.
This week.
That's it. Greg wins his first since the start of recast. Greg gets his first win on the board. He wins Armageddon. That's it from myself here on Retrotainment Recast.
The new Stone Cold look done it well for me, didn't it?
Join us next time. Also join me on the Sherlock Reel. It'll be coming out in whenever this is coming out, we'll have we'll have the Sherlock Reel coming up quite soon. And yeah, lads, anything else yourselves? Obviously on the Dynamo Podcast Network.
Just follow us on the Dynamo Podcast Network. Loads of shows there. Obviously, Retrotainment itself. Then the shows for wrestling, football, music, pretty much anything you can think of. There's nearly something there for it. So just follow us on the Dynamo Podcast Network.
And then, of course, you have my other show that is
On the Slab.
I'm the co-host of On the Slab with Ian, the Dynamo Kelly, and Carl Kingwell.
Well, yeah, a very good horror if you're into it. Not everybody's genre, but
all things horror.
Yeah.
Shows, stories, lists.
it's very, very good. So yeah, check us out on the Dynamo Podcast Network where you're watching this, and obviously check Carl out on the Sherlock Reel, where you'll probably see us too as well, because we
Or
Or
Likely.
at least one of us.
Yeah, usually one of us. But until the next episode, good luck.